Hi, I'm Matt Collins. I'd like to welcome you to Bob Weber Auto Mart on Douglas Avenue here in Racine, across from Douglas Park. We specialize in 1-year-old, low mileage, almost new cars. And if you'd like to stop by and see them, or see them on our website, bobweberautomart.com, we could save you between $5,000 and $10,000 on your next almost new car purchase.
Welcome into another edition of Sports Junkies here at RacingSportsZone.com. Time to do a little pack of talk. Steve Sparky, Fifer with the Wendy's Big Show weekday afternoons from 2 until 6 on Sports Radio 1250 WSSP. He is Mike McGivern, our WSSP High School insider. He's going to do a little pack of talk as well. You also can catch his show called Faith in the Zone, celebrating its 1-year anniversary now, coming up this Saturday with former Packers kicker Chris Jackie.
Chris Jackie and along with an assistant coach from Wauwatosa West High School football, Shane Tendick, is our other guest
and that's
week.
Sundays at 8 in the morning and 8 at night. A replays at 8 at night. Last week was KGB for an hour.
Yeah,
KGB was awesome.
You know, he was. And we asked one question in the first segment, and he went 17 minutes.
That's awesome.
We talked to him 2 segments, and then I was going to cut him loose. He said, hey, I thought we'd talk a little bit about the Ray Rice, Adrian Peterson stuff. And I said, do you have more time? He said, yeah, as much as you need.
So you did an hour.
So we did an hour with him, and he was awesome.
You can check that out at sportsradio1250.com. Just go to the show's link, Faith in the Zone. You can listen to all the previous podcasts. It's had a bunch of great guys on that show over the course of the last year. Thinking about that the other day, you've had like 100 people on that show.
Yeah, it's been incredible.
Yeah, nice.
When this thing started, Pastor Ken Kellner is my co-host, and we've had that conversation on what is the toughest part, and it's for me securing guests. Once we get them, it's fine, and as we get more and they start to help, we ask for people's help, and it's a great show.
And that's the one thing, because when you're talking with athletes, with all due respect, you hear all these stories from athletes and how they act off the field and how they act in the locker room and everything else. And then you watch the Packers go out this week and lose to the Detroit Lions in Detroit.
I called that one, didn't I?
Yeah, you said last week that they were going to win.
Right.
So why did they beat the Packers?
I think Detroit is. I think that's a difficult place for people to play at this point, and I just think it's early in the year. That's a bad matchup for the Packers. I think they'll do much better this week.
I really thought that going into this game, the Packers would be able to roll over them because that line secondary I didn't think was very good.
Right.
I thought the Packers would be able to take advantage of that. Instead, it was the same thing we've been seeing, which is either the Packers wide receivers not getting open or Aaron Rodgers not throwing to the open guy and forcing the ball to Jordy Nelson. One of those two things are clearly happening right now.
Well, and I think, too, they really need to start. Eddie Lacy needs to get going. Because what happens when he gets going is it opens everything up.
Sure.
They can't, they're stopping the run, and they're double-teaming Jordy. I think last week said their tight end was going to have a decent game. And I thought that quote started coming a little bit. But they really need to figure out how to run the ball.
Yeah, the other thing is you don't really have a true number 3 wide receiver right now. I mean, Jared Boykin, Devontae Adams is a rookie. You refuse to activate Jeff Janis at this point, so what now?
That's coming.
What do you do now if you're the Packers?
I think that's coming, by the way. I think that's coming here in the next couple of weeks. He gives them a lot of speed, and he'll go over the middle a little bit as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's coming. They started slow last year as well, and I think they'll be much better this week.
The other thing too about this Packers football team is you don't get a rest because now you get the Chicago Bears right away.
Right.
You go down to Chicago. I mean, you're in a position you could be 0-2 in the division or 0-2 in the division here, and you're only through 4 weeks of the season.
Right. It's a tough start.
And 0-3 in the conference. On top of it, if you're talking about battling for home field in the conference playoffs or whatever.
Tough start for them, but I think they right the ship this week. I do.
So you think they come back and get the Bears?
I do. I think they beat the Bears this week.
And I guess I'm on the opposite end again this week. Maybe
you'll be wrong again.
Well, maybe. Last week I thought they'd win by 14 or so. I was wrong. Now you come back this week, you get the Bears. And I think the Bears just figure out a way to beat them. I think Jay Cutler is sick and tired of all these DBs for the Packers, and they're talking again this week, talking about, well, Jay's going to throw us a couple. I mean, we're going to get a couple. We just got to make sure we catch them. And every time they play Jay, they get into Jay's head, and they say that type of stuff. And I think Cutler just says, that's it. I'm not giving you one this week.
How do you think Pepper's going to play?
I think Peppers will play with his hair's on fire.
Yeah,
for a better word. I mean, he's going to have a lot of energy.
Yeah, and you don't think his boys are going to get him going,
but there's one problem. Clay Matthews practiced on Wednesday, and according to reports, was limping in the locker room after with that groin injury. Okay. if he can't play on Sunday for whatever the reason, or he can't go 100% where he lines up and they go, he's limping, we don't got to worry about doubling him right now, and now you can shift all your focus on Peppers, that could take Peppers completely out of the game.
Yeah, that could. He's going to cause some havoc, though. And you know what? He's talking to his guys in the locker room. There's a lot of respect for him in that locker room. And he's saying, look, here's how to get to Cutler. Here's how to get in his head. You know what? The guy who always plays well against Packers, Forte. He scares me a little bit, but I think they're going to be fine. I think they're going to have Chicago and get a win.
They have to cover Martellus Bennett, and they have to be able to cover Forte out of the backfield.
Right.
That has always been a problem for this Packers defense. Tight ends and running backs out of the backfield. I thought Detroit would have done that more against the Packers than what they did.
Third down, they threw it to Bush a lot out of the backfield, and there was nobody in the screen. And I think they need to make a few adjustments. I thought defensively, Packers played pretty well last week.
They're getting better.
Yeah, they played pretty well last week.
Yeah.
You know, they did, and I don't think that game was on them. I was a little surprised, you know, when I said I think Detroit's going to win, I thought the offense would score a lot of points and they wouldn't be able to stop them. And it was the opposite. I don't know what the over-under was on that game.
I've said this before. I said it last week. I don't believe the Lions are utilizing their backs properly. I think splitting up Bush and Joyke Bell and taking them both out of rhythm and stuff and not letting either one of them get into a rhythm running the football, I think really hurts that offense. I don't like how that offense is put together. They should be as potent, in my opinion, as what the Bears are on offense.
Yeah, Stafford, though, he makes some bad decisions.
Just like Cutler.
Just like Cutler.
Right. I mean, for that aspect, I mean, they're pretty close. I mean, Cutler's probably a little bit higher level than Matt.
Correct.
Yes, he's been doing it longer, but yeah.
You know, Stafford surprises me, the angles that he can throw the ball from. But I think, you know what, going into Chicago, they're feeling pretty good about themselves right now, and I think Packers are going to win.
Aaron Rodgers this week had 5 passes underthrown. Last week he had 6 passes underthrown. Any concern about Aaron Rodgers?
No, I think what's happening is he's not able to sit in that pocket, and I think as he's stepping forward, he's not able to get as much on the throw. He'll be okay. That offensive line, I thought was going to be one of the strengths of this team. Did not look like that last week, and that scares me.
I mean, they got hurt. You've got a rookie playing at center, who comes back at right tackle wearing this bulking knee brace, which has to slow him down.
What does that tell you about Sherrod?
And again, he even wasn't as bad as what everybody thought he was going to be. He really was. I mean, he wasn't getting beat every play. I mean, people thought he was going to be Mandrich, Tony Mandrich. That's what they thought he was going to be, and he played better than that.
Okay.
Now, did he play like a first-round tackle? Maybe not.
No.
But he's been hurt his whole career, too. I mean, this is really the first full season where he's been healthy.
But that tells you they'd rather have a 50%
yes.
over 100% Sherrod.
No, absolutely.
And that tells you what they think, and they see him practice every day.
He is big-time Mike McGivern. He is going with this Chicago. No, the Packers.
No, I'm taking the Packers this week.
You sure?
Yeah, you're taking the Bears.
Yeah,
man.
I'm taking the Bears.
You'd be wrong.
He's taking the Packers.
Steve Sparky.
I'll be wrong 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah. Hey,
I'll be glad to get Gery Woelfel back because I'll be right more often.
Do you think the people watching this heard, that's a good one, heard the girl cry over there when she got her flu shot?
No, I don't think so.
Because it's flu shot day here at Entercom Milwaukee. Our friends from our local pick and save stores, pharmacists are in giving flu shots to our employees.
Including Greg Geeson.
Yeah, he's getting one, and one of the sales girls just started crying. It's not that bad.
What is it?
She's very emotional.
She wouldn't even look at her getting the shot. Like
yeah.
she had her head turned.
Yeah. And this is a girl who's given birth a few times. So come on.
Oh.
Yeah. But thank you to the people at the pharmacists at Pick and
He is Mike McGivern, Steve Sparky, Fifer. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Sports Junkies here at RacineSportsZone.com.